Bonjour, Saint-Jean-Baptiste Day is in full effect, and the Montreal Canadiens just continue to create firsts and magic in the NHL. Clarence Campbell Trophy winners, baby, representing the weak North Division in the NHL this year. They will be in the Stanley Cup Finals against either the New York Islanders or the Tampa Bay Lightning after dispatching the Vegas Golden Knights in 6. 2 elite teams down, 1 okay team in the Jets, 1 more team to go. The Montreal Canadiens are doing things that are unprecedented, and we're going to talk about the Knights Habs series. We're going to break down a couple of the goals, then we're going to preview, maybe even predict, what we think is next for the Montreal Canadiens. Congratulations, Quebecers, Montrealers, French Canadians, Anglo Canadians, and Habs fans. Stick with us till the end of the video.
Here's Lemieux. His center penalty coming up. Look at Lemieux. Oh my goodness.
So over here at Hot Garbage Sports, we have been growing like crazy, mostly thanks to all you wonderful hockey fans and an absolutely large Montreal Canadiens fan base. Thank you for being here. If you are a Habs fan or a Knights fan, please go ahead, smash that subscribe, smash that like, join us. Train's leaving. It's packing up. We're like 500 subs, something like, I don't know, 6 weeks ago. We're brand new. Jump on. Train's leaving the station, baby. Choo choo. Habs Knights. The Habs end up taking this one in overtime. What have the Habs done since the playoffs start? Oh, I don't know. Only had the best penalty kill that anybody has ever seen. Only had Carey Price playing Olympic level Carey Price when we last won the gold medal for Team Canada. This is single-handedly, mark my word, the best goaltending performance ever in the NHL. Done, period. It's on camera. It's said. End of story. But you gotta close it, Price. You gotta win. You have to win this in order to check that box and enter yourselves into the annals of NHL history. You've won more awards than any goaltender. Remember that year he won 4? It was unbelievable. Gold medals all over the place. Winner at every level. Can you bring the first Stanley Cup in 28 years back to Canada and back to Montreal for number 25? What a beautiful number that is. You've already brought them their first Clarence Campbell Trophy. Who saw that coming? Western Conference champions. I love this season. Of course, Montreal is a team from the East, from Canada, that wins a Western Conference trophy. Excellent, excellent job. I love it. I love it. I love everything about this. So let's go ahead. Let's talk about why the Habs ended up beating the Knights in the series. Video up above where I really detail the Montreal Canadiens stretch pass offense and what they're doing in their D zone. We'll do a little bit of a walkthrough today, but let's talk high level about it. The Montreal Canadiens have been able to separate and create gap against 3 teams, and teams have not been able to adjust. I haven't seen a system like this in hockey for quite some time. Normally in hockey, you attack with 4 up, sometimes even 5 up, and you move through the zones as a unit. What that means is you are creating outnumber opportunities because you're moving up with massive amounts of players in order to exploit the other team. And most teams in the NHL play almost identical, if not very similar, team defense, neutral zone, and offensive styles. There's only so many ways that teams are playing in the NHL today, but the Montreal Canadiens break a few conventions purposely, accurately. It's unbelievable. If you think Knights fans that your team just didn't show up to play, trust me, I'm a Jets fan. Thought the same thing. So did the Leafs. We're all wrong. The more and more I got to watch the Montreal Canadiens, the more and more I got to see how their system has systematically, see where we're going there? Picked everybody apart. What they end up doing by stretching 1, sometimes 2 players from the defensive zone before they turn the puck over. That is the key. I heard the Lightning fans say it. The Lightning stretch the ice. Yeah, they do, but not like this. Nobody does it like this. The Montreal Canadiens wingers will leave the zone before the Montreal defenseman or centerman is able to secure possession of the puck. Say that again. They will leave the zone before their own team secures possession of the puck. That's weird. It doesn't happen in today's NHL, but it's working because what it does is push the defenseman, the crown jewel of the Vegas Golden Knights, back. And when they are pushed back, it's creating gap. You go ahead, you throw that puck up the middle of the ice, you look for breakaways. You've seen it all series. You've seen it for 3 series now. Breakaways all over, a legendary amount. And the worst thing that can happen to you as a team Once you get that puck up there, it's okay, a neutral zone turnover, big deal. They retreat back to their zone with one of the best back checks and back pressure I've ever seen. They defend in groups of 5 in their zone, and then as soon as there's even a half chance that they can pick up that puck, whether it's in dispute, whether it's contested, they're gone. They leave immediately. They do not wait for possession. That's strange, but it works so well because there was just nothing Vegas could do. They could not adjust. Just like once the series was 3-1, the Leafs couldn't adjust. Just like the Jets couldn't adjust from the onset. There is no adjustment. And then the second part to the game plan is have Carey freaking Price in net, because if a team does adjust, there is an adjustment for this. This isn't unbeatable. Trust me. If a team does adjust and correctly turns the puck over, we've seen Vegas do it a few times this series, Price stones them. And that's what makes it so deadly, is that in the opportunities you should be able to capitalize on as the opposing team, you can't do it because there's a brick wall in the way. This is a very difficult system to coach and play. It is a very difficult system to understand and to buy into if you're a player. Players have the mindset and have had the mindset in the NHL to pressure on pucks, overload sides. This is a wait and see style system. This is trap hockey. I say it again, this is trap hockey. There's nothing wrong with the term. It's not a bad term. It's not wrong. It's not saying you're bad. It's effective. And what it does is it allows your team to be patient and take advantage of the opportunities when you create turnovers by stretching the ice and using speed with really good D-zone tactics. You couldn't do this if you didn't have Carey Price. You couldn't. No way. Carey Price is that good. Heart and soul guy. So what ends up happening in this series? The first game where Knights fans were saying, I'm in all their groups, Twitter, all that fun stuff. The Twitter machine, we're going to sweep. It's over. We're a dominating team. Why does Montreal lose the first game? Because Montreal didn't play their game. That's the difference. Montreal went back to a regular or more conventional defensive zone structure. They didn't stretch the ice. They collapsed around the net and they waited or put pressure on pucks to create those turnovers, but didn't leave. That's what they did. And that allowed Vegas to basically activate their defensemen, which is what they want to do, and run all over them. Then Montreal went back. They watched the tape. Coach got in the room, gave them all a little whack upside the head, not literally, but figuratively. No abuse going on in there. Gave them all a little whack upside the head and told them to play their game and reminded them that they have one of the more difficult systems in the NHL to play and they can win with it. And they did. They absolutely did. And scoring comes from all over the lineup when you play this way. That's the story of this series. Montreal adjusted. The Vegas Golden Knights did not. Peter Deboer, you are not the coach people think you are. End of story. You made 0 adjustments. You can stay with the Knights. Doesn't matter. I'm not looking for anybody to be fired, but an excellent coach would have adjusted. And yes, I can include Sheldon Keefe, my vote for Jack Adams Award winner. That's out the window now. And Paul Maurice. No good. No good. They didn't adjust. So in game 6, let's go ahead. Let's take a look at some of the goals. Let's see how Montreal was able to overcome the Knights. The Knights did get 2 goals this game, and they did get 2 goals from their defensemen. No surprise there. Yes, Rielly Smith scored the first goal, but the shot came from the point. They were able to generate offense from the point, and it seems like that's all they could do. Their forwards, non-existent. Just didn't do what needed to be done. Their defensemen did the best they could considering the situation. So Alex Martinez ends up with goal number 2. Rielly Smith ends up with goal number 1 for the Knights, but it isn't enough because Weber and then just a stud. The stud, Caufield. How much daylight is above you there, Lehner? Unreal. Caufield ends up draining it, top shelf, and the game is then won by Lehkonen and the Danault line. The line that people have been saying isn't giving Montreal enough offensive production. The best defensive line and shutdown line in the Stanley Cup playoffs today. You're asking them to do more? Well, they did it. They won you the freaking game. What a nice goal. Let's go check them out. Okay, so what happens here first? It's very key. Jeff Petry makes what's called a cross ice dump. There's a few options for dump. So when you go opposite corner, right, he's on the right side of the ice, he's dumping into the left side of the ice, the puck usually ends up sticking in that corner. So the hope of that is that player 1 or player 2 can win that race to the puck. We know it doesn't happen. Petry had other options for a dump, which is the hard rim, looking to go all the way around the ice, and would have come back up here somewhere. And the second option would have been a soft dump, where you're just trying to stick it in the strong side corner. So 3 options. It is very key to note that he made the cross ice dump here, because that's what ends up causing the goal, and it is a very smart play by a veteran player. Coach Ryan, there's no way you're talking about dump-in strategies as something that is worth noting for minutes on a video. Yeah, I am. These are practiced. This is a very important piece to the game when you're attacking a zone. If you know that, good for you. If you didn't know that, now you do. Okay, so there's that cross ice dump, and you can see this is a power play. This isn't ideal by Montreal. So this is a happy accident. You have 1 versus 2. That's not ideal because you're supposed to be outnumbering them on the puck. So really good that he's come over here. I mean, he's anticipating that there's going to be a rim around the ice from their defenseman, but theoretically you should be sending 2, maybe even 3 Montreal Canadiens into the strong side corner where the puck is to get that puck. But don't worry, because it works out into a goal. So one funny thing I want to show you here about how skilled Martinez is before he completely blows it and gives up the game. Look at the direction his skates are pointing in. It almost looks like his body language is about to face to go to the right side, and you can see the Montreal player is going to bite, and he's going to go to the right side of Martinez. Again, this is a practiced skill set at about age 14 and up, where you're changing directions just to throw off your opponent. So this is actually not easy to do, because the natural inclination is for your body to give a read. So he's actually tricking him on which way he goes, and watch him just eat boards because of it. Okay, so the next frame, you can see he's changed the direction of his skates, and now he's about to move up ice. Oh, eat some boards. I only laugh because I've been there. Wow, that hurts. Like, that actually hurts. Don't worry, we got a goal out of it though. Okay, so you can see here, Martinez is just shoving it up in the middle of the ice. Like, everything about this is wrong. It's just wrong. This is just a panic play. Hold the puck, move it into the corner, eat it in your skates, go high off the glass. There's just so many options. It's just from such a beautiful skating play by Martinez to just dog crap. So puck heads up to the top here to Weber. We all know he's going to pick this corner. I've talked about it a couple times on this channel. Defensemen are shooting high all of a sudden, and I love it because goalies go down into that butterfly. Price has been burnt by this a bunch, Habs fans. You know that. Look at this beautiful screen here. He ends up taking away Lehner's side of vision, and you can see Knights players in the way too. There's no place for Lehner to see this puck. So not only is he going to miss it, but he's a big man going down into a butterfly, and this is a person with a pretty excellent shot in Shea Weber, knifing it top shelf for an unassisted goal. Or maybe we should give Martinez a point. Who knows? What do you think, Habs fans? All right, what do you see here? Surprise, surprise, surprise. Another stretch pass. Unbelievable. Look, you have all the Knights over here changing. Caufield burns them, knifes it top shelf. So take a look. The puck's right down here. You can see Vegas has a very good opportunity to seal this puck, but it is all skill here by the young Cole Caufield to basically pick this out of midair and end up on a breakaway. So here we go. A few frames later. That's not puck luck, ladies and gentlemen. There's nothing lucky about that. That's pure skill by Caufield knocking that out of the air. And you can see he's stride for stride. It actually has the worst angle. He's on the outside, meaning this should be a pretty easy angle off to take that puck away. Nope. Caufield just embarrasses him with pure speed. So there we go. We can see it. Whole top shelf of the net is open, and Robyn Lehner is already looking for a poke check. He is assuming this is very similar to another goal that was scored by, well, basically every breakaway ever by the Habs at this point. But Cole Caufield, that poke check is coming out by Lehner because he is assuming Cole Caufield is going to cut across and he's going to be able to take it off. But like, do the Knights goalies not learn? Fleury did this as well too. You're just leaving the top open, and Caufield is too darn good, and he's a shooter. Goal number 2. And Knights fans, this is what I mean by Deboer and the team didn't adjust. Did they not watch any tape on this? I have covered it now for 6 games. Repetitive behaviors by the Montreal Canadiens. I'm nobody. I'm dust. I'm not paying hundreds of thousands of dollars to break down these types of clips and tell the NHL teams what to do. They have tons of me on their rosters to help coaching staffs with this. Plus, you know, the coach. Lehner does the same thing as Fleury. Unreal. Stretch passes for days. Unreal. No system adjustment. Unreal. Slow defenseman? Unreal. Yikes. Way to go, Habs. All right, we're going to go to the overtime goal by Lehkonen and on the Danault line. you're going to see something different on this goal. You're going to see right here why this line doesn't score a ton of goals and why we should all get off their back about scoring more. They are so defensive that this is the first time I have seen in a very long time the Montreal Canadiens move up the ice with four players. Conventionally, this is normal in the NHL. It's just not normal for the Habs. They moved up the ice with 4 players because this line is so defensive and so zone first. They don't actually stretch the ice. You don't see too many Gallagher, Lehkonen, or Danault breakaways in this series. We saw Gallagher against the Leafs. We saw a little bit of Gallagher against the Jets. Danault only has 2 assists. Well, now he's got 3. They attack as a unit because they are so D-zone first. There's nothing wrong with that. Let's go take a look at this beautiful goal. All right, so you can see it right here. 4 players are up. Galley's got the puck. Vegas is caught. Overpressure in the Montreal zone allows a normal, standard 4-men up attack, and these are dangerous. The reason the NHL has moved to every team attacking with 4 this way is because it's so dangerous, it's so effective, and it creates so many odd man rushes. Here we are. So Galley's able to move that puck over to Danault while Lehkonen is hanging out just around the left side, and Gallagher has followed in behind Danault while the Montreal defenseman is still activating. So Danault ends up breaking through and he's driving the mid lane. Now, coach, you talk about mid lane drives all the time. He can't drive the mid lane with the puck, can he? Yes, he can. It doesn't matter if it's the puck carrier or not the puck carrier. Someone has to drive the mid lane. It's unconventional that the puck carrier will drive the mid lane, but in this case, Danault does it because it still ends up pushing the Vegas defenseman backwards. Makes sense. Okay, so Danault has come right through to here on that mid lane drive, and look how much ice. It's the length of the purple arrow here. Look how much ice he has pushed the Vegas Golden Knights defenseman back. He ends up making a beautiful pass. Puck is right here through the legs. So that puck is moved over to Lehkonen. It ends up in the back of the net. And lo and behold, what's the last thing that happened? It crossed the Royal Road, that invisible line down the middle of the ice that makes stopping pucks so difficult for goalies. And that's it. That's the clinic, folks. We now know that the Danault line attacks as a group, and I've now given you an explanation as to why they may not generate as much offense as the other lines. We have learnt in this series, along with the other series, why Montreal's stretch offense is different than anything else in the NHL. We have talked about how good Carey Price is, and we have talked about the dedication to team defense. It is now time to talk about it. Can the Habs do it? That's Montreal fans right now. Don't say it, Ryan. Yeah, you're right. I've gotten every prediction on this channel wrong. And I'm going to tell you why right now. It is because the Montreal Canadiens and the New York Islanders, Frank, but we're talking about the Habs here. They have changed the NHL at this point again. Maybe not forever, but this is one of those points in history that we are going to talk about where we talk about the game changing. This is a different style that the other teams aren't playing and that is repeatable and copyable if you end up having a good goalie. So if teams end up drafting goalies higher, which may start happening considering what is happening this year in the NHL with first round goalies just dominating in the finals, if teams end up building affordable free agents all up and down their roster, building veteran fourth lines that can end up scoring, they can absolutely easily copy the Montreal way. They can't copy Carey Price, but they can copy the blueprint, and teams will copy this. So this will become a pretty interesting blueprint for the NHL going forward, or a way to win. There have been multiple ways to win cups. Pittsburgh was one of the first teams to do it with 3 centermen down the middle, or 3 lines at the very least, where it was deep, 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 as opposed to rolling 2. The activating defenseman was a brand new thing in the NHL over the last decade, generating tons of points, almost a point per game for top defensemen. There have been so many really cool trends and ways to win Stanley Cups, and Montreal has just shown us another way. So that is why the prediction model ends up getting it wrong. Habs fans, you get it right because you got a cheat code. You live in Montreal. Why wouldn't you cheer for your team and pick your team? It just makes sense. Of course, I called the Jets. Of course, you called the Habs. There's only 2 teams that can win in a series. Come on, you don't have ESPN, do you? Maybe you do. I know, ESP. If you can let me know what movie that joke is from, let me know down below in the comments. So, Montreal going into the finals. Montreal can win the Stanley Cup. I'm not calling them to win the Stanley Cup. Habs fans, I won't make you hate me, but they absolutely can win the Stanley Cup against either the Lightning or the Islanders, because regardless of what anyone tells me about the Lightning being a similar team and system and Vasilevsky being as good as Price and them having $97 million, they do not play this system. They have never played against this system. They haven't seen it before. They're not ready for it. This is going to be dangerous if you're the Lightning. But then again, $97 million team. So who knows? But the Habs have more than a puncher's chance in that series. I would put that series easily at 50-50. I might even nudge it 55-45 Habs over Lightning because of that system. If they end up playing the Islanders throw a little bit of a wrench in the plan because the Islanders play so physical, and get ready, Habs fans, if you get them, they're a little bit cheap. But I'm not saying cheap in terms of like dirty and going to concuss you and do all those things. Well, actually, they may do it, and Barzell may take your teeth out. Keep your head up. The Islanders they have a nasty way about them. The NHL East is the nastiest division in hockey between the Flyers, the Penguins, the Capitals, the Bruins, the Islanders. You got to be tough to survive that division, and they are. The New York Islanders are such wieners that in scrums, they will take off your helmet, not to punch you, just to make sure the chin strap comes off so you have to change so they get advantage on the change. You guys are geniuses. Like absolute geniuses. Love it. But the Habs still have an excellent chance against them because nobody realizes at this point, I think we do now, how tough the Habs are. They are big, they are physical, and they hit a lot. So even though the Isles are going to come at them with a lot of physicality and size, I can tell you right now, the Habs can handle it. I digress on saying they can't. Said it, I don't know, 8 weeks ago at this point. I didn't even think they could. Nope, wrong. Tough as rebar. They will lay hits, they will give hits. They are one of the tougher teams in the NHL, and they're relatively clean. But if you piss them off, they can turn around and give it back to you, a la guys like Shea Weber. It's just, I can go down the whole roster. They're all actually pretty tough. So it'll be very interesting to see that matchup. I would give that matchup an absolute 50-50 coin flip. I do have, if the Lightning get through the Isles, I do have the Habs slightly favored above the Tampa Bay Lightning. That's a hot take. I know it's a hot take. So can the Montreal Canadiens win the Stanley Cup? Absolutely. Are either team that comes out of the next game 7 tomorrow in Tampa Bay ready for this? No, they're not. I'm sorry. They aren't. They will adjust. Well, at least I hope they adjust. No one's adjusted yet. But theoretically, if you make it to the Stanley Cup final, your fingers are crossed that team's good enough to adjust. It'll be a heck of a series no matter which way you go. On one hand, I would love to see the Islanders and the Habs play because the Islanders fans rival the Habs fans in terms of just sheer craziness and awesomeness. The Bell Center is going to be flying off the hook. St. Catherine's going to be flying off the hook. Habs fans, they love their team. They're vicious. They're just awesome. Like it just feels like they're intimidating. And that's weird because it's just a fan, but they are. The Islanders fans are no slouches themselves. They don't shut up the entire game. They come up with amazing things. So that'll be a fun series to watch. I don't think the fans sway what comes out in either of these games, to be frank. I really don't. These guys are professionals. They play through it. But the Lightning I'd like to see for one reason. Beat the best. You want to be the best, you got to beat the best. To beat the defending Stanley Cup champions in the Stanley Cup final game at $97 million with two players, $8.5 million and $9.5 million over the cap to win the cup, that just caps it off. You beat the Knights, President's Trophy tie. They didn't get it, but same amount of points. You beat the Jets. You go ahead. You beat the Leafs. If you beat the Lightning, there's literally nothing anyone can say that isn't the Habs aren't the best team in the NHL. Period. It's been Coach Ryan D.